Check, check. Islam, Moors, peace and love. We are here for another class, Canaanland Moors. It is the 16th of February. I think Noble Juwali's warning or prophecy ran out. We got some snow yesterday and today, so it's back to regular Canaanland Moors weather right now. But we're not complaining, we had a good run. Fall, spring, summer lasted up until January. So we want to give honors and thanks to the Prophet, Noble Juwali, for making sure that, he put it out there. Nobody can't say anything with regard to his position and what he demonstrated for the Moors to, realize and recognize that he is for real. I want to say Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love. It's been an interesting week. Very interesting week. A lot going on. Today's is a Q&A class, so we got a few emails that we want to go through. Before we do that, we want to address some other stuff that's been going on, just so Moors can keep their wits about them, because Noble Juwali told us that it's going to be our own that's going to enslave us. So don't worry about what Europeans doing and all that, because they're going to do what they do. Be wary of the people who are trying to divert you, distract you, turn your attention away from your Prophet Noble Juwali and the Moorish Divine National Movement and the truth about your nationality and birthrights. Anybody, I don't care how long you knew them, whatever. Anybody putting you in a position where you have to not give full consideration to Noble Juwali and what he brought you and told you that's going to save yourself, stay away from them people, right? I also want to put out there for the Moors in Canaanland, the Moors who were present at the tribunal that we had. The video's up if you haven't seen it. Check it out. Tribunal, Canaanland Moorish Tribunal, and town hall meeting. The tribunal was for a Moor out here that we called Camry El Bay, Camrel Bay, and we called him Camry El Bay for about a year. He'd been in the movement, Camry El Bay is the same Moor. If you go on YouTube and you watch Canaanland Moors in Hamilton and Crystal's intro, it's the Moor who's doing the Crystal's intro to the lecture that we did for the Moors in the jurisdiction that the Nation of Gods and Earths calls Steel City, right? AKA Hamilton. But we don't deal with pork, so we don't call it Hamilton. We're gonna go with the Nation of Gods and Earths, and they coined it, so we say that Steel City. So for a year, we've been calling him Camry El Bay, and then we had the tribunal. We had the tribunal on Sunday. It was supposed to be at 11 a.m. He showed up late. He showed up at 1:45, and basically talking about he didn't respect anything because his name wasn't on it. His name's Camra El Bay, not Camray El Bay. But it was real interesting that, he let all these Moors call him Camre Elbe, which is not his name, for a year, and he never corrected one individual. He never told one individual, excuse me, don't call me that name. That's not my name. My name's Camra Elbe. Not one. But after the guilty verdict is laid down, after judgment, now that's not his name. Now that's not his name. But, they could play their little game, but we know that Kudro's name is Kudro Adwo L. A-D-W-O. But sometimes people say Adwa, A-D-W-A. Why? Because it's the same. In our culture, vowels are interchangeable. In our culture, which is the ancient Kemetic culture, we know that if we say Ra or Re, we're talking about that gold-looking thing in the sky that all these planets revolve around. Whether it's R-E or R-A, you know what the hell we're talking about. So these guys could play their little game, but judgment is what it is. There's not going to be no appeal because, they're begging, well, he's begging for appeal. He wants transcripts so he can appeal stuff. There ain't no transcripts around here. The stuff's on YouTube as the law, because we don't do transcripts, especially when people have dirty activity and want to pretend like they have angel wings and they don't do any evil, right? But they're going to play their little game, and it's to the point where dirty Moors could go F theirself as far as Kudro's concerned. Don't be coming around saying anything to me if we have previous knowledge that you've been a dirty Moor. The only way that anything is going to be heard from any of these claffies is if they fess up and apologize. Which, I might add, one Moor who we classified as dirty Moor that left Canaanland Temple over a year ago called me a few days ago to tell me that he was wrong and all that stuff, and his mind wasn't in the right place, and he wants to dead the beef that he has with Canaanland Moors and start coming back around again. That's honorable. Mind you, certain people are going to have to get their 50-foot pole to deal with them. You know what I mean? They're not going to be coming too close. You're going to have all eyes on you because of your past actions. But the actions that has happened with Camre, aka Camra Elbe, they are not going to be looked at or considered or anything for at least a year, right? Because that's our law. If you're dirty and you do dirty stuff, there ain't no 30-day appeal and 30 days come back, you know what I mean, and get back in the good books in 30 days. You're going into exile for a year. That's what it is out here. And you're lucky, because we could put the Shimitar to people's hands and stuff like that if we want to do a Moorish law, but we're going to humble ourselves, deal with love instead of hate, and we're going to give you a year to go do whatever it is you want to do out there, but don't come around, don't mention us, right? Definitely don't come around, because definitely don't come around, right? When we sent expulsion letter, people want to send letters back, say that they never got it, send email to people. They're going to say, oh, we never got the email. My staff deleted the email. You know what I mean? That's why I came at 2 o'clock and all this type of stuff. You're not even hearing it. Okay? Some of the things that we wanted to actually put out there, just so people can know about the dirt that was going on. We have Stephen Ainsworth, whose email, which was that's one of the first exhibits that we had put out in the tribunal. His email read, "Hi, this is when we told all these people, after we found out that he was selling packages, we told all these people, make sure you send an email, testimonial or something like that, so we can, have something on the record that this Moor is dirty Moor, so we have evidence against him." Because initially it was about expulsion and forget trial, because you're dirty Moor, ain't nothing to be trial about, you're guilty. But then, we spoke with the Moors, we spoke with the elders, and they suggested, well, if he did dirt and you got evidence, you might as well have a trial and not deny him due process, even though he's guilty. Like, okay, cool, no problem, we're going to have trial. Set up trial, and he went outside of Canaanland Moors to go beg some other Moors to convince us to have trial. So we said, okay, fine, we have trial. Set up trial, 11 o'clock, people want to show up 2 hours late talking about they want transcripts and, walking in, making noise all loud and stuff like that while people are having their town hall meeting, right? Which is what we put in the video. If you've seen the video, you heard the noise that they made when they entered, right? Banging chairs and stuff like that. And expect us to respect anything that they do? The hell out of here. And don't come around. I hope you see this so you can see me telling you, don't come around. Because it's not going to be fun if you come around. This is a warning, don't come around. Right? "Hi, I met Cameron at Tim Hortons and he did up my papers for $1,000. He has not talked to you. He has not talked about you to me. What should the cost be? Are the papers valid? What advice can you give me? Thanks." Now, this is the same individual, Stephen Ainsworth, who a few days later called him, and he was saying, well, I don't think anything's wrong with him. He didn't do anything wrong to me because I didn't give him the money. I gave the money to somebody else and they got it to him. And then on top of that, I authenticated my birth certificate like he told me to authenticate my birth certificate. And now I'm discharging all my bills and all that stuff. So, he might have robbed me $1,000, but, I think I got the better deal because I'm discharging my debts. All right. Just make sure you call me in a year and let me know how that discharging debt's going in a year. That's what I told Stephen Ainsworth. And then he went around telling people that I'm rude and all this type of stuff, you know what I mean? Whatever. But we squashed that. But, it is what it is. There was also Sister Naomi L. Bay that came up. "I am requesting an application form to become a member of the Moor Science Temple of America on Eglinton Avenue West. I was advised by Sheikh Kudro to send you an email, and I would receive the application form for membership via email, and I can either mail it back or drop it off. I would also like to advise you regarding my testimonial regarding a dirty Moor named Cameron," who's Camry Elbay. That's how we get Camry, because his name's Cameron, or so think his name's Cameron. We don't even know what his name is because he has about 50 names, which is why the application form, it tells people, list all the names that you have that you've ever used around here, because we know that there's dirty Moors around here, and that's done for a reason, right? But people think they could play their little game and get away with stuff around Moors who are guided by Allah and the Prophet. "I have known Cameron for a few years, but strictly high and by. His son and my 3 girls attend the same daycare. and in passing we would say hello and goodbye. I saw Cameron in the mall in Brampton. Approximately December 16, 2015. He then handed me a paper with information regarding live birth certificate and a birth certificate. I am quite versed in the matters of the enslavement we have been subjected to for so long, so I was interested. I advised him to come to my home to meet with me and talk. My fiancé was at home when he came over, and he spent about 6 hours, and we were just talking about everything. At the end of the conversation, it was advised to me to proclaim my nationality through the Moor Science Temple on Eglinton. I would have to pay $400 to get my paperwork signed, sealed, and done, plus the $130 for ID cards from rvbaypublications.com. I was okay with the pricing. I thought this was for administrative fees and actually filing documents with the proper authorities and who needs to be notified regarding my new nationality. After he left my home, I was discussing it with my fiancé, and I said, no way is this $400. This should be free to proclaim my nationality, because I read on RV Bay website intently for a week, and I told Cameron that I would not be paying for information and proclaiming my nationality. He said okay. I had set up my niece with Cameron to discuss getting her paperwork before I decided I am not willing to pay for anything. Her name is Justine Monroe. She has since gotten her documents signed and seals, but with a fictitious seal from Cameron. He brought her to authenticate her birth certificate at 220 Jarvis Street just to prove that he is somewhat legitimate. My niece and I fell out because she said I am a fool to not pay Cameron to get things done. After speaking with Kudrow, I am more confident I made the correct decision. Going forward, I just want peace, no negativity. I'm 35 weeks pregnant, and this has stressed me out, and I'm done stressing out. So please send me the application, blah, blah, blah. All right. The next testimonial from Supreme Ruler Al. Islam family. Back in March of 2015, I was introduced to him by way of Tariq Bey and Rennie Bey. He had come to Tariq's place to discuss things. Actually, Brother Supreme stepped up, put his stuff on the record in the tribunal, so you already know what his position was. And then Sister Monroe also sent us her WhatsApp or text message discussion with Camry as well, right? With dates and times that they were having these discussions, talking about who is it going to sign the proclamation. Him and his partner is going to sign it, and it's going to be $400 and all that stuff. The $400 was for paperwork to be done, sealed, and signed, etc. Right? Justine Monroe, the niece, she sent her testimonial, and this was her email conversation that she was having with him. He didn't get the email, wanted to meet up. What are the steps? Whereabouts are you located? What's your number? Call me, all that stuff. This is one of the things that we didn't bring up with regard to the tribunal, because it was just so much damning evidence that there was no need for us to bring everything. We said we're going to stick to insubordination, impersonating an officer of the Moor Science Temple, and charging finance for things that are supposed to be free through the Moor Science Temple. Guilty of all three charges, but this is other stuff on top of the three that we never brought up, because cases, we don't need to bring up other stuff, but we'll bring it up now since people want to play like they're innocent and we're slandering them and stuff like that. So this Sister Justine Monroe, who by the way is a European, who he sold her nationality paperwork, not naturalization paperwork, right? This is how dirty he is, right? Sold the European nationality paperwork convincing her that she can call herself queen. Queen Elbe is a European, right? He told her that she wanted to come to class, and he told her that, oh no, there's no class today, you know what I mean, we're gonna have class next week or something like that, right? There's no class today, meaning class that we run every Sunday. He was convincing her that the temple that we do classes out of on Sunday was his temple. And when they met up and exchanged their money and stuff like that, he dropped her off across the street from the temple that he said is his temple, right? Playing this game with people to try to let them think that, you know what I mean, you know, he has some authority to be doing all this dirt that he's doing, right? Another thing that we want to put on the record that we didn't bring up in the case is about, let's say, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, I get a call from Sister Rosmariah V. Bay, founder of rvbaypublications.com. What's up, Cujo? You know, I check in to see how you're doing or whatever like that. But I just wanted to ask you, you know somebody named Camriel Bay? Yeah, you know, that's supposed to be a Moor in our temple. Well, we got a call from him, and he's trying to convince us, RV Bay Publications, that your temple is subordinate, so you have no authority, and his temple is the number one temple, and that we should be doing business with him and making him nationality cards instead of him going through you guys to get nationality cards. Right? So went behind our back to go talk to RV Bay, thinking that, you know, they're dirty Moors like him, and they're just about, well, hey, if he says he has 50 people that want cards, hey, we'll just use him. But no, we deal with honorable Moors. We deal with Moors who are not dirty Moors. So logically, we get a call. Just like we get calls from any Moors that are in Canaanland that go to RV Bay Publications and want nationality cards. First question is, are you a member of Subordinate Temple number 5 in Toronto? No, I'm not. Sorry, we can't give you a nationality card because the only Moors that we deal with are the Moors of the Moor Science Temple of America with Grand Sheikh Kudro El. If you're not down with that temple, don't be coming around here claiming that, you know, we have to do anything for you. We don't have to do anything as far as RV Bay Publications is concerned. Anybody that gets a nationality card from us has to be a member of Canaanland Temple if they're in the jurisdiction called quote-unquote Canada. And then maybe 3/4 of those Moors don't become members. They just forget it, and they don't even call, they don't even become members, right? Which lets you know how many dirty Moors there are out there, which lets you know why Noble Drew Ali said, forget this, I'm going to go to Soul Plane and do the work from there. Because when you check the literature, and he's talking about Moors chasing him around with a knife, and they're standing watching the Moor chase him around with a knife, you know how many dirty Moors were around Noble Drew Ali during his time. And why he told the people, I brought you everything it takes to save a nation, take it and save yourself. Don't be waiting for no Moors to save you. Noble Drew Ali said, I brought you everything it takes to save a nation, take it and save yourself. That's Noble Drew Ali's words. So why people are relying on Moors to save them, I really don't know why. Because when you rely on Moors to save you, 99% of the time, it's probably going to be a dirty Moor that you get with, like Camre, Camra, Elbe. Right? Remember, this is something that we left out of the tribunal. The fact that he went behind our back, claiming to be a temple number one, in order to get RV Bay Publications to make him nationality cards without our acknowledgement. When the reason he has a nationality card is because he came to us to get his nationality card. But then all these people who he's claiming that he's the quote-unquote grand sheik of them, they're not going to come through us to get their nationality card. They must go through him. And he's temple number one. Second thing that we didn't bring up in the tribunal, we didn't bring up Brother Troy Lee Bay, who is the Moor that has the martial arts school. And he's, black belt, been around the world, won all types of competitions and stuff like that. Martial arts school teacher, right? He's not some lame, right? So he came into the information. And he lives in the jurisdiction where Camra Elbe lives. So one day I get an email, which I don't think I was supposed to get, but Allah guides this movement, not nobody, not no individual guides this, Allah guides this. So I get this email talking about temple number one in Brampton. Temple number one. Okay, we're temple number 5. We're the first temple out here. If anybody else is going to have a temple out here, it'll be somebody who we charter them to be a temple. Or we give them a warrant of authority so they can exercise as Moor Science Temple. We didn't give nobody nothing called Temple 1, but we'll play possum, see where this thing goes or whatever. So then start getting texts. Temple number 1 classes, come get the true information from temple number 1. Because temple number 5 is not really the temple that, you should come to temple number 1 in Brampton. So we decide, okay, let's call up Troy Lee Bay, because, they're using his space, so he has to have some type of knowledge with regard to what's going on. So call up Troy Lee Bay. Troy Lee Bay is talking about, from what we understand, it's just supposed to be classes. We're supposed to be in line with what temple number 5 is doing. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be the Noble Drew Ali Learning Center, and that's it. There was nothing called temple number 1. Nobody told me about nothing called temple number 1. So this went on for a few weeks. And then Troy Lee Bay started questioning this individual, Camra Elbe, about, how you, playing possum, see how far this thing goes. You ask some questions or whatever. Realize that this guy can't answer any questions. On top of him not being able to answer any questions, he's saying everything contrary to what Kudro told him. So red flags go off. He's like, forget this. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be against temple number 5 because that's the foundation out here. I know that that's the foundation out here. I'm not stepping on no toes. Forget all that stuff. He cut off his space for them to use for their stuff. Right? And then a sister, just maybe a month later, a sister crashed her car And she's telling me that, yeah, I was speaking with Camry, you know what I mean? And, we were talking in our class, about, how I can, you know, deal with this situation, because I had a car issue or whatever. Talking in a class? What do you mean you're talking in this class? Yeah, because, we're doing classes, out of somebody's house. Out of somebody's house? Since when? I thought you guys got shut down when Troy Lee Bay shut down his stuff and you guys have nowhere to play. So long story short, this individual's been going around trying to be a grand whatever, trying to have authority, claiming that he has authority when he has zero authority. No authority whatsoever, right? Telling people to authenticate birth certificates, charging people $100 to $1,000 for some papers, right? Now, here's an example of the papers. Now you can clearly see right here, this is the seal that he's using, right? You can see that there's a pyramid on there. And then above the pyramid, it says ab antiquo. So if you go Google Great Seal Pyramid, a pyramid seal is going to come up that's on the back of the dollar bill or the dollar note. And then another seal is going to come up that has the pyramid attached, right? Has the pyramid eye attached to the pyramid, and above it says ab antiquo. That's the seal that he remade and started sealing people's documents, claiming that that's their seal for their so-called temple number one. We're letting people know right now that it's a fraud. So anybody who ever engages this individual and sees them using this seal, know that it's a fraud and they're impersonating. I don't know what the hell they're impersonating, because that's not even a real seal of something. That's just a seal that some Moor made up, right? As a graphic. It's not even a seal for real, right? Now, the other thing that you're gonna take notice of is, see that 10 right there? That 10 means page 10, right? But that 10 is supposed to be down here somewhere. How come it's not there? Because, like we said, they took 8.5 by 11 paper. They took 8.5 by 11 paperwork, right? They took 8.5 by 11 paperwork and photocopied it on legal size paperwork. But the jackasses forgot to take the number off, right? So you have 10 in the middle of your stuff. Now, the other part is the individuals who bought this paperwork that didn't notice this. That's how you know people don't freaking study. Because how are you going to accept a paper with a 10 in the middle of the goddamn page and you don't pick up that something's wrong here? Second to that, why the hell is it saying witnesses over here and I am over here when that's supposed to be over here? Right? How is the date over here? The title of the date is over here, but then the I am and the witnesses are on this side of the page. Clearly incompetence on both parts. Incompetence on the dumb package seller that didn't make sure that the paperwork was right, that didn't take the 10 off, right? Baiting up their self, trying to say that, they have some authority to be a temple number one, and they can't even freaking print 8.5 and 11 paper on legal paper, right? Incompetence on both sides, because there's no way that you don't think something's wrong when it says witnesses after the signature for the witnesses. That doesn't make no goddamn sense. Why does it say witnesses after the witnesses? right? And then one of the witnesses, Camry LB, which is his right here in the middle, he has under his signature, natural person, in propria persona, all rights reserved, but then this witness has all this stuff under theirs. You don't think something's wrong with this? That is a problem, that there's no uniformity in this paperwork? Right? But this is the incompetence of these people. And they claim that they have some authority. To hell with your goddamn authority. You're a scammer. You're a dirty Moor. And like we said, don't come around here. Right? Don't come around here. Because you guys are a fraud. Now here's our seal. This is our seal that we used. Right? Now, this paperwork, the $100 paperwork, what they used to do is that they would come to the temple with stacks of papers saying that, yeah, we have Moors that want to join the temple. Could you seal these papers so we can get it to them? You know, we're going on the fact that, you know, these Moors are honorable or whatever like that. So we seal the papers for them. You know what I mean? You know, go get the signature or whatever like that, and you know, everything's good. You know, big deal. But they were actually selling them after we seal it. After we seal it, they go sell it. Right? So we're just putting it out there for people to know that this dirty Moor by the name of Camra LB, aka Camry LB, aka Yabba Dabba the Rapper. Just go YouTube search Yabba Dabba the Rapper and Wu-Tang. He has videos out there with Wu-Tang where he's in his fez cooking crack and stuff like that. Just go check the videos so you know what the hell is up with these Moors. Right? Because there's a blatant disrespect for what we're doing here when Moors pull those ones. When they go behind our back to try to make cards from people who, you know what I mean, we know are sincere Moors. And they think that these Moors are dirty like them, that they're gonna side with them trying to go behind our back to do stuff. That you really think that we're so flop, right? We're such bitch ass Moors that Moors who taught us aren't gonna come and let us know that Moors are trying to undermine us. They're just gonna go with the fact that Moors want to undermine us, right? So you know, that's that. And we're telling people don't come around, right? Telling people don't come around, right? You're not welcome. Because you're dirty Moors and you need to go wash your ass. Because you're dirty. Stankin' Moors. You know, your bar of soap's not helping you Moors. You Moors need Brillo pad to clean. Ain't no soap for you Moors. You Moors need to get hold down and wash with kerosene. That's how dirty you Moors are. And only Moors who get dirty know what it means to clean yourself with gasoline. Only Moors who work in the field. Only Moors who go on their back and go under cars and stuff like that know about washing your hands with kerosene to clean your hands. These Moors play games. Right? Dirty Moors all over the goddamn place. Little Moor brought this one to my attention, right? Abdul Ali Muhammad, degree of Bachelor of SCIECNE. How's Temple University don't know how to spell science? Right? This is how this clown posing on Sonetter TV, Black News 102, right? Dirty Moor Ali Muhammad, who we dealt with already buried him, and they're coming up again with their BS. Right? But he has degree from Temple University and they can't even goddamn spell science? Or is this some fake stuff that he made up at his house, fronting like he has a degree from Temple University? Either Temple University is some illiterate bastards, or this guy is a dirty Moor trying to convince people that he has degrees from Temple University, but he can't even spell goddamn science. Not only science, he can't even spell 20. Affix the seal of the university on this Twetny, Twetny, first day of May, whatever. Twetny. Posing like they got degrees. But their stuff is saying Twetny. And science not even spelt properly. And you're posing with this? You can go back to Temple and say, yo, jackasses, you spelt my stuff wrong. Posing that you got degree from Temple University. And then people are going to follow these people looking at their goddamn videos and playing like these people have some type of something to teach them when they can't even goddamn spell science. And they can't even spell 20. And these are the people who, so-called Negro, black, colored, conscious people, are backing. Doing stuff with them, sitting on the same couch with them. Nigger can't even spell 20. And science. But they got a degree from Temple University though. And people talking about why are we going at people and all that stuff. Because these people are dirty people. Their job is over. They already got dealt with. There's nothing to debate with anybody as far as Moors are concerned. Nothing to debate. All these so-called conscious black people that claim to be community leaders, community helping, whatever, as soon as they classify you as black, know that they're selling you out. Fact. How? Well, you can't say that, because we can say that. Because there's no such thing called black people. There's no such community called conscious. How come Chinese people don't have a conscious community? Where the conscious Chinese people get together, you know what I mean? And they, you know, got their little conscious this and conscious that. How come they don't have that? How come they're just Chinese? How come the Hindu people don't have a conscious Hindu community? How come the only people are these dumb niggers that have this so-called community that's conscious? And then there's other people that don't have knowledge of self, but they have knowledge of self, but they're calling people black. What kind of knowledge of self you got, you're calling people black? What kind of knowledge of self you got when you're calling people God? This is a Germanic word. What kind of consciousness you got that you're calling people a language? What kind of consciousness you got you're calling people, telling people that they're Israelite when Israelites come from Canaanites? But you're not Canaanites though, but you're Israelites. But you're not Canaanites, but you're Israelites though. When Israelites come out of Canaan, just go check. Just go research Israelites, and it's going to lead you back to Canaanites. Oh, well, you know, the chosen people are the Israelites. There ain't no chosen people. Nobody chose nobody. How are you taking tetragrammaton and making that a god? How are you taking earth, air, fire, water and making that one god? That's 4 different things. How does 4 different things become one thing? when the four different things work in unison, but they also work individually. And people are listening to these fools. Asiatic black men. What Asiatic black men? Ain't no such thing as Asiatic black people. Asiatic, period. That's it. Go check. Only people is the conscious clowns telling people that there's Asiatic black stuff. There's ancient black stuff. They're always attaching black to something. But they're not going to listen to John Henry Clark. Ain't nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong at all. Only it doesn't relate to a country. Black tells you how you look, but it doesn't tell you who you are. But they honor Dr. Henry Clark though, but they're not going to listen to him echoing the same stuff that Noble Drew Ali said in 1913. They're not going to hear that. Right? They're going to show you all his lectures about him talking about Moors in the slave trade and Arabs in the slave trade and African history of the whatever, but they're not going to show you the stuff where he's talking about every nation in the world has a nationality and you follow stupid words like Negro, colored, and black. They're not gonna play those ones. But it's okay. Because we know as Moors that this is not for everybody. We know that this is not for everybody. We know that there are going to be people who are going to be against this. And that's cool. Ain't no big deal. We're not jumping ship. Because the boat has left the dock. You jump this ship, you're in the ocean, swimming with sharks. Period. Scholastic, my weekly reader. Growing up in the 1620s. In 1620, the Pilgrims came to America. They met people who already lived here called the Wampanoag, pronounced WAHM-PAH-NAWG, Wampanoag. What was it like to be a kid back then? Scholastic News, December 2015. So this is not something way back when. This 2015. Guess what Scholastic News let people know about the Wampanoag, the people that the Pilgrims came to America and met here? Oh, you're black. You came from Africa on a slave ship, right? Oh, you came from Africa on a slave ship. Interesting. You know, see they got news, big yellow, so you know that, you know, something's going on, right? Wampanoag, the people that the Pilgrims came and met here. Just look at the people that the Pilgrims came and met here. The people that the Pilgrims came and met here look like this. Oh, but you came here on a slave ship, right? You came here on a slave ship, did you? Oh, you're African. Okay. You're African, huh? You're African? You sure you're African? Because Africans don't call themselves African. Or African American? Well, Africans don't call themselves African American. If anybody's going to call themselves African American, it should be Africans because they're from Africa. Or maybe they're not from Africa. Maybe they're from countries, not continents. Islam to the Moor that sent this. You know, just something that's out there. You know, and then don't forget, go check Scholastic so you can see their track record to know how long they've been around. You know what I mean? Right? How long they've been putting out Scholastic News magazine or whatever. You know, just so you know that, you know, it's something real. You know, growing up in the 1620s. In the 1620s, remember, 1620s minus 2,400 years of slavery. Okay, so 1600s. That's about the time of slavery, right? Oh, how about the time of how come she doesn't look like a slave? If this is around the time of slavery or whatever, how come she doesn't look like how black guys look? How come she looks native? Just gonna hold this up just so you could think for a little bit. You know, not the Moors, the other people who are new to this. You know, who always challenging Moors. Oh yeah, I'm not native. I ain't come around. I ain't around a slave ship. I'm from Africa. Oh, you're from Africa. People who the Pilgrims came and met here. But you know, you go be African. It's cool. Go do your African BS. Don't worry. Moore also sent this one. The New York Times published July 7th, 1889. New York Times. You guys know what New York Times is, right? Like if I say New York Times, you know what, you know, it's not going to be, what is he talking about? New York Times, what's that? You guys know what New York Times is, right? Article is called Black is White. New York Times, 1889. Black is white. An argument from etymology. The word black, Anglo-Saxon, BLAC, BLAEC, BLEAK, is fundamentally the same as the Old German BIACH. Now, or that might be BLACH. Now only to be found in 2 or 3 compounds as BLACHFELD, a level or plane, BLACKMAHL, the scum which floats on the top when silver is melted. The BLACH frost, and it meant originally level, bare, and was used to denote blackness, because blackness is bare of color. But the nasalized form of black is BLANK, which also meant originally bare, BARE, and was used to denote whiteness, because whiteness is apparently bare of color. The same word was used to denote the two opposite things, from which it would seem that black is white. To anyone who shall point out a flaw in this etymological argument, I shall endeavor to be grateful, provided he does not disturb the very satisfactory conclusion. This I should naturally resent. It may help him to a conclusion and serve as a further support to my contention to point out that BLAC in Anglo-Saxon actually means white, as well as black. So that is not in its nasalized form, only that the same word is employed to express opposite things. Why is this? Unless that to the primitive mind, white and black appeared to agree in being bare or void of color, and for that reason to deserve the same name? And here I cannot help harboring a suspicion suggested by the old German black frost, which appears to be nearly obsolete or only used in some localities, that our black frost meant originally a frost bare of accomplishments as whore, H-O-A-R, rhyme, R-I-M-E, and it is a coincidence only that it should be black in color and blacken the vegetation. But we have long lost hold of the original meaning and believe it to refer to the color. New York Times, July 7th, 1889. Black is white, an argument from etymology. You want to be black people though? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. You might have missed this symbol of black wealth in Beyonce's Formation by Asher Khan, Asherkohn. If you've already contributed to the 30 million views and counting of Beyonce's Formation, you may have noticed the weird hats on the gentleman flanking her at 1 minute and 12 seconds in the video. To the right of Beyonce is a man dressed like Baron Samedi, B-A-R-O-N-S-A-M-E-D-I, a Haitian voodoo spirit in a top hat and 19th century frock coat. Left of Queen Bey's bobbing head, wait, hold on. What's a black man doing wearing a Moroccan fez? One possible answer is that the shot nods at black history. All right, there's Baron Samedi, and there's, wait a minute, what's the black guy doing wearing a Moroccan fez? The red cap and green moss are the only colors in the entire Southern Gothic setting, and director Melina Matsoukas doesn't do anything unintentionally. The man in the fez is a symbol of worldliness and solidarity in the post-Civil War South. Black families who wanted to buy a home or open a business in the early 1900s could rarely rely on Jim Crow-era bank loans. They could instead turn to mutual aid societies, groups like the New Orleans famous Crews, K-R-E-W-E-S. The first was an Afrocentric group called the Zulu Aid Society and Pleasure Club. But by the 1930s, groups winking at Islam with names like the Crew of Allah or the Crew of Babylon had elaborate floats in the Mardi Gras parades. Louis Armstrong reigned as king of the Zulu crew at Mardi Gras in 1949, Louisiana State Museum. Allusions to Islam allowed members, no matter their ethnicity, to claim an exotic justification for esoteric practices. Crew members were almost always devout Christians, but they dressed like Ottoman royalty, black suits, red fezzes, and never ever a tie. Mutual aid societies were also part of white culture in the 1960s. Even the Flintstones had their prehistoric loyal order of the water buffalo. But while white Shriners and fezzes look fuddy-duddy today, there's even a TV Tropes entry for Brotherhood of Funny Hats. In African American communities, the fez is still a symbol of wealth and connection, particularly in New Orleans, where dressing up with your best friends during Mardi Gras is a citywide holiday. And there's the Flintstones with their Water Buffalo Lodge. Should be bringing back memories for some of you Moors out there. Some of you 70s and 80s Moors. So if in the formation video, the mystical Baron Samedi represents magical strength, the fez symbolizes earthly wealth. In this Southern Gothic setting, Beyonce is demonstrating that she has both at her beck and call. In just 16 seconds of video, she uses these two men as props to demonstrate all of her supernatural and material power. Baron Samedi, French Baron Saturday, also written Baron Samedi, Bawan Samedi, B-A-W-O-N, or Bawan Sandi, S-A-N-M-D-I, is one of the Loa of Haitian voodoo, one of the spirits of Haitian voodoo. Samedi is a Loa of the dead. Along with Baron's numerous other incarnations, Baron Cimetière, C-I-M-E-T-I-E-R-E, Baron Lacroix, B-A-R-O-N-L-A-C-R-O-I-X, and Baron Criminal, K-R-I-M-I-N-E-L. He is syncretized with Saint Martin de Porres, Martin, D-E-P-O-R-R-E-S. He is the head of the Guede family of Loa. His wife is Loa Maman Bridget, M-A-M-A-N-B-R-I-G-I-T-T-E. And then Baron Samedi, there he is. Baron Samedi. If you ask Shango Baptist who this is, the Shango Baptist will have something different to tell you about who this is. But there's the Baron. That's the guy with the top hat. So don't forget, anytime now that you see somebody wearing a top hat, know that that's supernatural. That's not somebody that's wearing a top hat because top hats are cool. They're invoking the spirits. They're invoking the energy of Baron Samedi. Boo! Keep in mind, Charles Wright. Keep in mind, Charles Wright. Charles Wright. Papa Shango. WWE. Baron Samedi. That when he was getting his ass kicked, he would blow the stuff in your face. Anytime he was losing, he would go in his little witch pouch or go in his Speedos, tights or whatever, and pull out his little powder and blow it in your face. Papa Shango. Invoking the spirits. Haitian voodoo. Haitian voodoo. Lastly, this is from MSTA1928.org. MSTA1928.org. Wow! Now we have a Caucasian actor demonstrating all caps bootleg sovereignty Moors written in the script of this television show. Check out the name he gives. What did you hear? Let's check out the name that he gives.
The possession of the anthrax, and I've got a notion as to how we can find it. First, trousers. My name is Joe Bay.
According to your rap sheet, it's Kurt Greenleaf.
Kurt Greenleaf is a slave name issued to me by a corporate entity. I don't recognize the U.S. government, so stop saying it. Call me Joe Bay.
Mr. Bay, we know that Eugene McIntosh is an associate of yours.
If you say so.
Actually, I don't. His brother does.
Doesn't mean I'm going to help you find him.
We seized the contents of your rental truck, including the envelopes you had ready for anthrax, all 500 of them, addressed to government officials.
Now, I was going to write some letters to some so-called congressmen. Last I checked, that's still legal. And I don't have any anthrax. You just ran a whole mess of tests proving that. Just some jars of harmless white powder. Also, totally legal.
Tax evasion isn't legal. Possession of guns with rubbed off serial numbers isn't legal. You're looking at serious jail time.
I'd rather serve every minute than play ball with a bunch of government stooges. You were quite a high-ranking officer in your little army, you know. I'd even venture that you were in charge of the plan to send anthrax to the government. Like I said before, what anthrax, right? You were never in possession of actual anthrax. Now you're forgetting, I was there when you regained consciousness tonight. And when you realized that you'd been exposed to this harmless white powder, you panicked. You attempted to wipe it from your skin and from your clothes. You thought it was real.
We know that Charlie Simon made legitimate lethal anthrax. Someone paid him to do that, paid for his lab. We went over Eugene's financial records today. He never had that kind of money.
You, on the other hand, ran a very successful, if unpermitted, bar. And I hear from the feds you're the kind of guy who's always looking to invest in worthy causes. Poisoning a bunch of politicians, for example.
Eugene fleeced you. He sold you fake anthrax and he kept a genuine article for himself. Well, we may be stooges, Mr. Bay, but we're in a position to punish him, and you are not.
Now, on YouTube, the video is uploaded as Stripping Moors of Their Names and Heritage Continues by Marrakesh Society. Keep in mind, these are the same Marrakesh Society who used to be known as Aboriginal law firm that used to sell packages. How do we know? Because in 2010, when we were in the news with that sister who got her baby taken, they called us. And they were telling us, in order for you guys to get her children back, what you have to do is you have to send us the birth certificate. And if you send us the birth certificate, pay us $1,200. You can pay $600 now and $600 later. And then what we'll do is we'll authenticate the birth certificate and then send it back to you, and then you would have the power to use the birth certificate to get the child back. Those same guys are who uploaded this video calling it stripping Moors of their nationality. But when they were selling packages to people, they didn't call that stripping Moors of their. But let's go back to this MSTA 1928 BS. Quote, Kurt Greenlee is a slave name issued to me by a corporate entity. I don't recognize. Call me Joe Bay. The film industry's written this into the script, which shows that there are people out there that are very conscious of our names, Bay and L. For it to be associated with this Caucasian who is refusing to identify himself with the corporate government shows you that there is much work that needs to be done in bringing a truthful light about what our beloved Prophet Noble Juali actually taught. However, this TV show script is associating our Moorish tribal name Bay to be anti-government. Our Prophet Juali said that we are not to speak radical against this government nor violate its rules and regulations. The solution to this sort of madness will be covered at the Constitutional Conference this July 2016. See complete details on how you can register at www.msta1928.org. Now, keep in mind that these dirty Moors, right, are not going to bring up the fact that our beloved Prophet told us not to speak radical against this government. But the European, he ain't talking about no government. He's talking about corporate entity, United States. So if the European recognizes that corporate entity is called United States, and he doesn't want to be identified by the 14th Amendment name that was given to him by this corporate entity, he wants them to recognize him as Joe Bay. But then they have his 14th Amendment name, Kurt Greenlee, but throughout the whole thing they're calling him Mr. Bay. Doesn't that mean that they recognize that he's taken the position of being an ipso jure Moorish subject since he's a foreigner, and he realizes that as a corporate entity telling me I'm something, I can't be that, which makes me foreigner. So the only other thing that I could be is a Moorish subject, Joe Bay. Which is the same thing that Moor's been telling people. Same thing Noble Juali said. He's going to make the European tell the truth. And then you have dirty Moors practicing hate instead of love, trying to tell this European that he can't show allegiance to the Moroccan Empire. Now, mind you, we're not even talking about anthrax envelopes and all that type of stuff, because we already know if you study Moorish history and culture, you would know that if you study Moorish history and culture, you would know that there was an individual by the name of Charles Mosley Bay that put out a document called the Zodiac Constitution. And in the Zodiac Constitution, it tells you that, the jurisdiction of Moors does not condone any type of criminality whatsoever. So sawed-off serial number guns and all that stuff like that already falls into the jurisdiction of criminality. So we're not even going to talk about those stuff. That's irrelevant. The point is that just like Sister put the fez without the markings on it in her video, and it got 13 million views and probably 300,000 million views by now, is the same way that these Europeans in their TV show had a European on there backing up the Citizenship of the United States and Expatriation, Chapter 5, where it states, citizenship in Morocco, which is over here, may be said to be governed by the laws pertaining to the same in other countries, with the exception that all persons residing in Morocco, which is over here, who cannot prove foreign citizenship because they're trying to classify him as a 14th Amendment ward slave, who cannot prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure as Moorish subjects. Backing that up in their little TV show. Honoring Moorish nationality and birthrights. They don't have to put Moors in there. The fact that he said Bay, you already know what the hell's up. We're not going to go there. We're going to try to convince you that that's some sovereignty, fake sovereignty, because there's Moors that say sovereign and we're not sovereign. But you guys got a flag, red flag, 5-point green star, which represents a nation, which is sovereignty. You guys have a charter on your wall that, charter, that comes from a sovereign power. Who gave Moors the charter? Noble Drew Ali gave Moors the power. And then Allah gave Noble Drew Ali the power to give Moors the power that they're utilizing for 100 years. But they don't have no sovereignty though. They're not sovereign. Keep in mind, I didn't say sovereign citizen. I didn't mention sovereign citizen. I didn't mention nothing like that. I mentioned sovereign. Sovereign, a person, body, or state in which independent and supreme authority is vested. So if Noble Drew Ali told the Moors in Divine Constitution and Bylaws, the Grand Sheikh and the chairman of the Moor Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws. A person, body, or state in which independent and supreme authority is vested. Now, if you have power to make law and enforce law, doesn't that mean that you have supreme authority to be independent? Oh, but these guys are going to try to convince people Noble Drew Ali has nothing to do with sovereignty and all that. Dirty Moors. Be careful, because your own brother is going to put your ass in slavery just because you didn't follow the instructions. We told you stay on RV Bay for a year, but no. You want to go straight. You want to go listen to all these different Moors out there. Oh yeah, they got fezzes on. They're my brother. No, they're not. They're dirty Moors. And their job is to divert your attention away from the fact that you are independent. Oh, hey, didn't Noble Drew Ali say that Moors are independent and fearless? If Moors are independent, doesn't that mean that they're sovereign? But they're going to teach you that, Oh yeah, and these are the same Moors that are complaining about Beyonce's video. There's more in there. That's not a real Moor in the video because he got paid in the video. So he's not a real Moor. He's a fake Moor. Crazy people. Stop listening to these crazy Moors. Go study. Alright? So we'll start at the bottom of the list. We'll try to get through as many of these as possible. I have two questions. My first question is, after doing my name correction, how would you go about changing anything that had the Christian brand name on it into your new Moorish name? Well, Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, leave all old business as it is and do all your new business in free national name. So why would anybody want to go change something that had a slave name on it, Christian name, and then put their free national name on that? I don't know. Because Keep in mind that those are corporate documents. Those aren't de jure governmental documents that you should want to change. Those are documents that you should want to bury somewhere. Use your nationality card as your ID. Because Drawley said, all old business, leave it as it is. And all new business, do it in your free national name. It's real simple. And in leaving all old business as it is, what you're actually being told is to go learn how to live within contracts. Study contract law and apply contract law to those old business stuff so that you can reserve your rights and protect the fact that you now have this new, quote unquote, new name that you're going to be using. Because remember, only out of private necessity, only out of the fact that we're under occupation would you be using those old names. But the reality of the situation is, just like we've seen Moors do, when you learn how to live within contracts and you get challenged, you put down both of them. One of them is going to have your rights reserved on it, which is going to prove that that's not you. Because, why would you reserve your rights if that's you? The fact that you reserved your rights on it means that there's rights somewhere. What right? The right to a nationality. Which that if you have a Christian name, clearly you don't have a nationality. If you have a Christian name, you're stateless. But by reserving your rights, you prove that you have a nationality. So now, you put down both of them. And now they make a decision on which one they want to deal with you on. They're going to deal with you on the de jure stuff, or they're going to deal with you on the stuff that has all rights reserved on it. More than likely, if they're a corporation, they're going to deal with you with the corporate stuff that has the all rights reserved on it. For example, just the other day, went and renewed the quote-unquote passport, because I'm not trying to play around with these people and their BS and be on some most deaf, can't leave the country and all that stupid stuff like that. Forget all that stuff. I know how to live within contracts. So when I contract with these people called occupying force, Romans, Catholic, high priests, whatever, Jesuit, whoever they are, when I contract with them, I reserve my rights. Now, what's real interesting is I sent in the renewal for this passport, that's their stuff, reserve my rights on it. And then they called me. Hi, how you doing? Is this so-and-so? Sent in renewal for the record, under threat, duress, and coercion, I am, name on the stuff, all rights reserved and all that stuff. Oh yeah, we noticed that you reserved the rights. That's not the problem. We're just calling to confirm your hair color, black. Okay? Your eye color, brown. Your weight, 155 pounds. And your skin color, brown. Thank you very much. You'll get your passport in 2 weeks. Now you go out there, find me some Negro, black, colored, whoever, that filled out a passport and got a call from the passport people to verify the stuff that I just told you they called me to verify. And if you don't find somebody that did that, then bells should be going off in your head as to why they call Brother Kudrow to find out about all this stuff or whatever. Why they call for? What's the purpose of them calling to verify something? Like why? Why are they calling? What's the purpose of calling? Like, why would they call? For what? What are they calling to verify? Why would they call to verify those things? I don't know anybody else who ever got verification call, personally. Even other Moors who did that, I don't know if they got verification call, so I don't know. But clearly they know what's up. I mean, clearly they know what's up. Learn to live within contracts. Second, I also find myself and my family here in London would like to do our proclamations and also acquire a nationality card. Can we fill in the nationality card form differently as we don't have states and zip codes in London? Yes, because you're in a different jurisdiction. So you put on the card form what's in your jurisdiction. Again, learning to live within contracts, because that form is a contract. So when you're filling out the contract, you scratch out what doesn't apply and put what does apply. And more than likely, if you do something wrong, the people who you send the form to, they would give you a call, email, or something like that. That's why you have to show allegiance to, the people who you're engaging, that are acting as your viziers, consuls, ambassadors, whatever. Right? You show allegiance by calling them, by leaving your email, by sending them some messages for a few days before you actually send stuff into them. Because just like anything else, you want to build a rapport. Why? Because, like we tell people, there's so much dirty Moors out here that sincere Moors, they don't really trust everybody that says they're Moors and, yeah, I just want to, could you seal this document and stuff like that. They don't really trust Moors like that, because dirty Moors mess this stuff up. Right? So because the water is muddy, many of the Moors who are sincere, that are doing this out of love, are going to wait for the dust to settle before they, do whatever it is that they do. So will that answer your question? If it didn't, don't forget, you can call into the show tonight, 347-945-5899, 347-945-5899, 9:30 p.m. We understand that it's a different time zone, but what are you going to do? That's just what it is. Try your best, stay up or whatever like that. If you can't stay up, then try to do the email thing, and get a reply that way. Right? Next question. I was just listening to government reparation with Dr. Ali Muhammad. All right, let's just go back here for a second. Please do not listen to anything Ali Muhammad says, because he can't spell science, and the university that he went to can't spell science, and they can't spell 20. So do not listen to anything that Abdul Ali Muhammad says, because he's illiterate, he can't spell science, and he can't spell 20 on his fake Temple University bachelor's degree diploma or whatever like that he has here, posing like he got some knowledge. He doesn't have no knowledge. He's a dummy. Because if he didn't recognize that Temple University spelt his stuff wrong, he's a dummy. And if he made this fake stuff up, right? If he made this fake stuff up and can't spell science, and 20, he's a dummy. Do not listen to him. We already told Moors, go check the record. Cujo and the Moors go after Ali Muhammad. It's on Sonetter TV and it's on Baba Everywhere TV. And we told these people that this guy is a fraud. We put the fake nationality cards up there and everything. Matter of fact, we just put out another video going over the same stuff again. Just for the simple fact that he's a has-been. Coming up again. Trying to fleece people again. Got new books now and people are going to go run by those books. When we told you that this guy's a fraud. Selling you out to the 14th Amendment through the Department of State, which has been dissolved since 1933. Well, you don't want to hear Moors though. You're going to come ask me questions about you were watching Ali Muhammad. Why the hell are you watching Ali Muhammad? Speaking on indigenous government, in the background behind him was a black flag with a star and crescent. A black flag is roach spray. Why would you listen to anybody with a black flag if a black flag is roach spray? The only black flag anywhere in the world is roach spray. But and Nas said niggas is roaches. So if Nas said niggas is roaches and Ali Muhammad has a flag that's black and black flag only represents roach spray, doesn't that mean Ali Muhammad is selling you niggers out to the death camps? Because if he's going to rep a black flag, which is roach spray, and Nas said niggas are roaches, then doesn't that mean that Ali Muhammad is for your death if you're a roach? Because Noble Ali brought a flag in 1913. Red flag, green 5-point star. Told Moors that that's their flag. But they don't want that. They want to follow Ali Muhammad with his roach spray flag. Talking about indigenous government. What indigenous government has roach spray flag as their flag? What is the difference between the two? And where should I go to claim my nationality? How long does this process take? Once I've done properly reclaim my nationality, what should I start doing? I live in Alabama where there are no temples, and starting a study group without 100% knowledge would be misleading. The same way that starting a study group without 100% knowledge would be misleading, proclaiming your nationality without 100% knowledge is misleading. Proclaiming your nationality without 100% knowledge is misleading. Thinking that the process is going to take a certain amount of time without full knowledge is 100% misleading. So other than internet, where can I start getting books, info to print, call-in centers, etc.? All right. So the call-in number, once again, Blog Talk Radio Show, every Tuesday from 9:30 to 12:30 sometimes is blogtalkradio.com/MHHS-eyes wide open. Call in number if you don't have internet and you want to call in 347-945-5899. That's one. You can go to Noon Naji L on YouTube. NUNNAGIEL on YouTube. You can go to I am HH space temple on YouTube. You can go to Bokhari Battle Bay BOKARIBADALBEY. Bokari Battle Bay on YouTube. You can go to Pardon the Interjection, Supreme L, Supreme space L on YouTube. You use those four for now as far as YouTube. Stay there, watch all those videos that those people have. Right? Watch all those videos before you go anywhere else. Watch all those videos. Right? You want books and stuff like that? rvbaypublications.com. Letter R-V BEY publications.com, and they got books for days. Get all the books that they got. Everything. Break your bank. Get all the books that they got on their page. If you go to Khalifa Media, CALIFAMEDIA.com, you get some more books. Go get all those books that they got. Break bank. Don't worry about the new Jordans coming out and stuff like that. Don't worry. The 30s and all that stuff. Don't worry about all that stuff. Forget that crap. Go get all the books that you could get. Also, another website, MoorishCivilLetter.net. Moorish, CIVILETTER.net. Go to that website and then buy all the DVDs off that website. Break bank. Don't worry. You know the T-bone steak? Don't worry. Don't get the T-bone steak this week. Go get some of those books and DVDs off those websites. Celebrate after you get all those stuff when you buy T-bone steak next week. Don't worry about T-bone. All right? And get your study on. Take your time and study. Don't worry about what you're missing. Don't worry about who the next game and all that stuff, the highlights and all that. Don't worry about none of that stuff. Study. Put some time in, just like you put time into all this other crap that we've been doing that did nothing for us. Let's put some time into something that's going to do something for us. Studying. And remember, we gave you specific places to go to. So don't come 4 weeks from now or whatever talking about I don't know what, because there's no way in 4 weeks you went through all that stuff that I just gave you. No way. Right? Especially when you start going into new NatGL YouTube and stuff like that. There's no way you're going to be done in 4 weeks. You should have nothing to say, nothing to do other than studying for the next year based on all that stuff that we just put out there. Right? So get the study on. Don't worry. You know what I mean? Don't worry. Just stick to the principles. Study. Not the 5 principles. The principles, study. That's the principles that we need to be on right now. Because the Aquarian age, it's the age of knowing right now. So nobody has an excuse for not knowing how to spell science and not knowing how to spell 20. Nobody had no excuse. If you can't spell science and 20 in 2016, just throw the rope over the thing, put the noose on and slap the horse. Come back next life. Next question. Remember, a lot of these were, from days ago. So I want to apologize for the people that sent questions days ago. We're just answering your questions now. Apologize. You know what I mean? It's not a habit that we have of not answering questions. Just lots of stuff going on. So sometimes, we got to put other stuff out there before we answer questions. And I really don't like typing. That's why I don't just reply to your email. I rather read your question in class and answer it that way, because I really don't like typing, to be honest. When it comes to our Moorish creed, I wanted to understand if the 5 principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, are the foundation that makes up the creed, or is there more to it? All right. Let's see if this is in here. What you're going to do, again, rvbaypublications.com, go on that website and stay there for a little while, and you'll get the answers. But let's just go to creed, right? Creed. The word creed, this is Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, and all the words that we looked up before, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. The word creed has been defined as confession or articles of faith, formal declaration of religious belief, any formula or confession of religious faith, and a system of religious belief. Creed. So, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is a part of the foundation of our creed. Because Islamism is a part of our creed. Nationalities are part of our creed. Fezzes is a part of our creed. Turban is a part of our creed. Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, is part of our creed. Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood is a part of our creed. Oral Statements is a part of our creed. 101 Questionnaire is a part of our creed. Moroccan flag is a part of our creed. Because, the 5 points on the star are the 5 principles. So, the principles are embedded in our flag. And our flag's been here since 10,000 years ago. And Noble Drew Ali said, go back to the mind of your ancient foremothers and forefathers. So, 7 Hermetic principles is part of our creed. 42 laws of Ma'at is part of our creed. So our stuff is deep. We got mad studying to do. We got lots of studying to do, but don't be overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Start anywhere. Stick to the foundation of those sites that we say go to. Stick to those. Don't stray. Because you see fezzes and turbans and stuff like that, think that these people are for your best interest. Most of them are not. Most of them are opportunists. Most of them are religiousized. Most of them are dogmatized. Most of them are dirty. Most of them have no intention of saving you. All they want to do is get numbers in their stuff so they can look good to their corporate owners. So they can, get their little extra, get bigger buildings and stuff like that, because, they're proving that people aren't getting this info because they're not studying the right sources. And like a good brother said, Rami Salam El, in one of his videos, when he came into this information, he studied Noble Drew Ali and what Noble Drew Ali said. Forget anybody else. Just go read what Noble Drew Ali said, and that'll give you a clear perspective as to what this is. Don't worry about what other people are saying, even though, we're giving you other stuff, but the other stuff that we give you is in line with Noble Drew Ali. That's why we give you those specific websites, YouTube pages, etc., because they are specific to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Right? Next question. This is the land of Morocco, North Amexem, now called the United States. No, you're not. North Amexem is not now called the United States. United States is a private corporation, right? Has nothing to do with Northwest Amexem or Morocco, right? Knowing that fact, why is it that we would still need to follow or adhere to the colonizers' laws as Moors? We don't adhere to the colonizers' laws. The colonizers push ordinances, acts, statutes, and codes. We don't follow none of those stuff. Noble Drew Ali never said follow any of those stuff. Noble Drew Ali said enforce the Constitution for the United States of America Republic. And that's not colonizers' laws. The Constitution for the United States of America Republic comes from the Law of the Great Peace, which is from the Iroquois Confederation. Right? It's patterned after that. So anybody telling you that the colonizers' law is the Constitution, those are probably dirty Moors. Stay away from them people. Because the Constitution of the United States of America Republic, which is 7 articles, 10 Bill of Rights. Anything other than 7 articles and 10 Bill of Rights is the colonizers' laws. 7 articles, 10 Bill of Rights. 7 articles, 10 Bill of Rights. Right? With 7, 10, 17, 718, which is infinity symbol, which is perpetual. That document is here forever. Nobody can change it. Nobody can make it move. Nobody can do anything with regard to, doing something to that. It's here to stay. But it's only here to stay if we enforce it. If we don't enforce it, then, Noble Drew Ali told y'all worse is yet to come. Which, if we look out there in society, we'll see that our people are experiencing that worse because they wanted to be black people and Negroes and colored people. So they're suffering right now. Yeah, but they killed them more up. Yeah, just like I said in the song. You know what I mean? Highwaymen think killing a bay is going to stop us. I ain't stopping no Moors. They could try, but playing. I ain't doing nothing. When claiming our nationality and expressing your proper person, are there usual or common situations to occur that other Moors have or did go through once they made it known verbally by action? Example, challenged, harassed, or denied certain things. Well, let's put it like this. When you proclaim your nationality and you are standing on your square in your proper person, you will be challenged, you will be harassed, and you will be denied certain things. But you also might not. So, don't get caught up in trying to prove your in propria persona position. If you're in a situation where you have to prove your improper person position, more than likely you're doing something that you shouldn't have been doing, because really what you should have been doing is studying. And how the hell did you get in a situation where you're getting harassed and challenged and denied certain stuff? You're supposed to be studying. What are you doing that got you caught up in something that you have to challenge something? Well, I was just going down to the... Okay, well, you did something to draw attention to you, because there's Moors who don't see them people. They never get harassed, challenged, or denied certain things because they're never in a position where they have to face that. Ever. They've been Moors for 10 years, never ever seen a highwayman, ever. Never ever, had to stand up for anything. Never ever got their ass kicked. Never got dragged anywhere or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Like, studying is essential. Because studying keeps you out of those people's way. Because as you can see right now, they're pulling guns on anybody and everybody, from children to elderly. So you might want to, get your energy right, which is getting your mind right, before, you start, like Noble Drew Ali said, Moors get in trouble because of that red flannel. Tongue gets Moors in trouble. Talking more than you should be talking. Shut the hell up, let energy talk for you. That's why Mawuju Ali told the Moors, be yourself. But you have to know yourself in order to be yourself. And that's why the ancient high priests of Kemet on all the temples had above the door, before you go in there, know thyself. Because it's important you know yourself before you be yourself. Next question. I was listening to the most recent Skype lecture with Nature L and was wondering if he was saying that we are not correctly proclaimed if we didn't proclaim our nationality through the county clerk's office. Can you expound on this? Now, the idea is to make your proclamation for the public record. So for me, my proclamation for the public record was when we were dealing with that same sister, and then I was on the news. And that was in the newspapers for a month, where they were talking about Kudjo Adwo El and the Moorish Americans in Canada. And that's their stuff. And I've been in situations where I took the paper with Kudjo Adwo El in it and used that to say, this is who I am, there's my name in the newspaper. Are you going to deny that that's me? There's a picture right there saying that's me. Are you going to say that that's not me or whatever? And then they went with it because it's for the public record. So the filing through the county clerk's office is to make your document public record. Because of the corruption of the counties, where they're going to deny your papers and all that stuff, that's why when you get your papers through rvbaypublications.com, they send you a list of who you should put on notice with regard to your so-called proclaiming your nationality. Right? They send you 7. Now, that's not the only ones that you can use, because, you know, if you talk to Brother Fonteas will tell you that, you know, he sends 300 faxes a day, maybe more than that, to any and everybody who he thinks should know that he's Moor. And he'll fax them stuff, mail them stuff, go drop stuff off, whatever he has to do to get the word out there, to make it publicly known that he's not 14th Amendment, you know, straw and all that stuff. Right? So the point that Grand Sheik Nature was making was that if you are going to the county and you're filing your documents at the county, that's putting it on the public record, where anybody could be sent to that place to verify your position. And like we said, if there's no counties, then you be Postmaster General and use the post office and put any and everybody who has to know on notice of your proclamation. Right? Because that's just how it, unfortunately, because of Moors not doing their job for so long, you know, that's where it's at. All right. So you get a couple more of these. Peace and love. Can you link me to any Moors with access to PDF of Black's Law, American Heritage, etymology dictionaries? I'm finding the ones online not accessibly friendly, or just don't have certain words I'm looking for, whatever reason. I don't know. So any Moors out there that have Black's Law, American Heritage dictionaries, etymology dictionaries, if you have Google Drives or something like that, that a Moor looking for stuff could be connected to, his email is ricardosmith123@hotmail.com. RICARDO Smith123@hotmail.com, and help the brother out. He's looking for Black's Law dictionaries, unabridged dictionaries, specifically American Heritage Dictionary, and etymology dictionaries. Right? Get at the Moor so he can start getting his study on. Peace, brother. Do you know where I can find a map or listing of the actual appellate of territories of Northwest Amexem? I found a Washita map, but it is not legible. Maps are hard. Maps are hard to find because of the discontinuing of a lot of those maps. You might have to check map books, old map books, maybe the library. Don't do online, because you're not going to find anything legible online with regard to the actual territories of Northwest Amexem. I would say try libraries first and map books. You might be able to get some map books at some old, if you go to some independent bookstores, they might have map books. And you want to look for pre-Reconstruction era maps. So pre-1800s. I know a couple museums might have some. But you know what they do, you can't take pictures and stuff like that. So you're gonna have to do your spy stuff to get certain pictures in the museum. But I think that's probably best way with regard to the maps. Also too, another website, Dr. Aleem El Bey. Check Dr. Aleem El Bey. He's Washita. He might have access to some of those maps and stuff like that that you're looking for. He might have some stuff. I would try him too. Regarding please shed light on the distinction between state of and commonwealth of here in the Americas. What are the distinctions? I have went over number 32 of 1953, relation to the Royal Style and Titles Act, stating the Queen is head of the Commonwealth. So Commonwealth, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. The public or common weal, W-E-A-L, or welfare. This cannot be regarded as a technical term of public law, though often used in political science. It generally designates when so employed a republican frame of government, one in which the welfare and rights of the entire mass of people are the main consideration rather than the privileges of a class or the will of a monarch. Right? Rather than the privileges of a class or the will of a monarch. So, for the Queen to say she's the head of a commonwealth is clearly color. Because a commonwealth generally designates, when so employed, a republican frame of government, one in which the welfare and rights of the entire mass of people are the main consideration rather than the privileges of a class or the will of a monarch, or it may designate the body of citizens living under such a government. Sometimes it may denote the corporate entity or the government of a jural society or state, possessing powers of self-government in respect of its immediate concerns, but forming an integral part of a larger government or nation. In this latter sense, it is the official title of several of the United States, as Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Virginia, and Kentucky, and would be appropriate to them all. In the former sense, the word was used to designate the English government during the protectorate of Cromwell. All right? So, during the English government during the protectorate of Cromwell is why the Queen would say she's head of Commonwealth. But, this is not Europe. So, her claim of Commonwealth, head of Commonwealth, doesn't apply here. That only applies to Europe. And remember that the Commonwealth is a republican frame of government. A republican frame of government. And not democracy, not oligarchy, not anything having to do with anarchy, nothing to do with, individuals claiming to have supreme authority. Right? Republican frame of government is the welfare and rights of the entire mass of people are the main consideration. Individuals aren't considered at all. All right? What else we got here? What is meant in the language of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship when it refers to consul? And with that, just look up consul. And once you look up consul, it'll tell you what that jurisdiction applies to. And then keep in mind that consul is also mentioned in the Constitution that Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, make sure they enforce Article 3, dealing with jurisdiction, right? Consuls, ambassadors, ministers, and all that stuff. Make sure you read Article 3 and relate Article 3 to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship in order to get the perspective of consul. If Congress was adjourned sine die in 1861, where does the Supreme Court and Inferior Court derive their authority today? They don't got no authority. That's why we have so much issues that we have, because we keep thinking that dissolved, bankrupt, and insolvent corporate jurisdictions are in authority or have some judicial power. They don't. All their seats got sold already. That's why Noble Drew Ali set it up for the Moors to have their own grand sheiks, their own jurisdiction to handle their affairs. Peace. Peace. Right? That's why Noble Drew Ali set up for the Moors to have their own stuff. Right? And we're supposed to be independent and doing our own thing and not even worrying about the corporate jurisdiction. But, because dirty Moors chasing Noble Drew Ali with a knife and all that type of stuff, and nobody dealt with those guys' cases, they're still around today, and the people are still dumb, blind, and deaf, thinking that there's some jurisdiction out there that's in their best interests, when it's not, because everybody took a check. You know what I mean? Are we voluntarily giving them power? What does that does not reside with them through contracts? Yes, that's why any contract that you sign, reserve your rights. You're paying something with a money order, write ransom on it. You're using debt notes, reserve your rights when you're using them debt notes. You get debt notes from a check, reserve your rights, sign the back of the check before you cash it. Don't just sign it and cash it. Reserve your rights before you cash it. Because it's through contracts that most of the time they get us. Right? And yes, we are voluntarily giving them power because we are a nation. Noble Ali told us that we are a nation. So being that we are a nation, there are certain things that we should be exercising. And again, this is why the motto of the Moorish movement is uplifting fallen humanity, because we're supposed to be out. Anybody who knows about this information is supposed to be out spreading the word to those who don't know in any way, shape, or form that they're able to do that, so that the people can have this information, right? So people can have this information because it's important that they know the truth about their nationality and birthrights. Okay? Islam, I am Jonathan. I spoke with Brother Amari mid-2015 about my nationality. I found a temple that's close to my hometown. I was wondering if it's safe to attend. It's temple number 4. You're going to have to do your studying and go in there and see if it's safe, bro. Because we're not there. We don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I don't even know what your hometown is because you didn't specify in the email. But if there's a temple, the least you could do is go in and see what they're saying. You know what I mean? That's the least you could do. Go in and see what they're saying. Right? And then if you realize that they're saying stuff contrary to, whatever you learn from active Moors, then, leave there and try to find another one. Islam GS Kudro Adwo L. I would first like to say gratitude in you assisting our mission for the donations, temple assistance. We have multiple options. So this is for MSTA 19 in Atlanta. If you want to make donations to them to assist them with getting their temple up and running out there, the GoFundMe is www.gofundme.com/YYMBN number 9 Z7 YYMBN 9 Z7. PayPal MSTA 1919 MSTA 19 Atlanta @gmail.com. MSTA 19 Atlanta @gmail.com. Square via phone cash options, you could reach us at MSTA 19 treasury @gmail.com. So PayPal, once again, MSTA 19 Atlanta @gmail.com, and cash options or via phone or Square. I don't know what that is. You guys might know what that is. You can reach us at MSTA 19 treasury @gmail.com, and that's for Grand Governor Heru's temple in Atlanta, the good Moor. You know what I mean? He got his books out there, Heru Ranasi L. You can look him up and get some info, or just send him an email. You know what I mean? And he got some books for you too with regard to your nationality and birthrights. Good brother. And Islam to all the Moors, Brother Nazir L out there, all the Moors that's holding down Grand Governor Heru in Atlanta. And I think the last question was, I'm interested in becoming a member of Canaanland Temple. Thank you for the hard work waking up our people. To be part of Canaanland Moor's Temple, if you're outside of Canaanland and you are interested in joining the temple, we have honorary membership. You can email Amari, Amaury, Elbay, Amari Elbay at hotmail.com. If you're outside of Canaanland and you want to be a member of the temple and you want the honorary membership form, Amari Elbay at hotmail.com. And the brother would be glad to send you the information. And lastly, first question I have is, can you give a breakdown of the different types of Moors and which type is closest to what Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught? Active Moors. Period. Either they're active Moors or they're not Moors that you want to pay attention to. Right? Active Moors are Moors that you look up Moors and they got videos that come up, they got books that come up, and their things are in line with what Noble Drew Ali is. They got Noble Drew on the cover of their book, not themselves. You know what I mean? All Moors who are down with Noble Drew Ali push Noble Drew Ali more than themselves. So if you have Moors that's pushing themselves and they're not pushing Noble Drew Ali, they're probably not the Moors you want to be dealing with. I noticed that there are Kemetic Moors, Moors that teach metaphysics, Moors that are Islamic, and Moors that teach naturalization or what have you. What light can you shed on the correct path to become when it comes to many different views in the community? Don't follow the naturalization Moors. You can follow any other Moors. Metaphysics Moors, Kemetic Moors, Islamic Moors, whatever. You go learn some stuff from them. Naturalization Moors, leave those Moors alone. Don't give them any of your energy whatsoever. What is expected of a Moorish woman? Just look at the cover of the 101 questionnaire. You'll notice that you're the only one that Noble Drew Ali is holding in his hands, bringing out of the cares of the world. So what's expected of the Moorish woman is that she teach her sons, which your sons and your daughters, which are also mothers, range from 0 to 99 years old. So don't think that your sons are younger than you. Your sons are also older than you. And we need sisters to step up. We need sisters to be their ancient foremothers and be the civilizers of us again. We know where we're at, right? Where sisters concerned. You need to put yourself back on the pedestal because Moorish culture is matriarchal, not patriarchal, right? Moorish culture is matriarchal, not patriarchal. So any Moors that you see are pushing, like what NOI is pushing, put the sisters over there and then put the brothers over here and all that stuff, all that's dead. Sisters should be at the podium talking by now. Sisters should be up front putting this information out. Us sons, we're just doing what we do because, you know what I mean? We're going to do what we do as sons. But know for a fact that every son is inspired by a sister speaking up about her nationality and birthrights. Every son is inspired by a sister who knows herself and expresses the fact that she knows herself. Where the sisters are at, brothers are follow. Where sincere, knowledgeable brothers are at, the mothers will be there to slap their head back when they get out of line, right? So with that, I want to say Islam to all the Moors, Peace and love to all. Don't forget, we're on Blog Talk Radio at 9:30 and 347-945-5899. Starting at 9:30, we'll just do our closeout. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet, Noble Juali. Ashe. Peace and love to all the Moors. Stay active, don't be passive, and we will put some more dents in this thing. Islam.